The famous question, how much do you bench? It's crazy because when I first started lifting, going into the gym 20 years ago, that was the only question I ever heard. And 20 years later, to this day, I still get the same question. How much do you bench? Now from the title, you see that in this video, I'm going to help you increase your bench press. Bench pressing is the most common bodybuilding exercise in this world. We all want to increase those numbers. We want 1 plate, we want 2 plates, we want 3 plates, we want 4 plates. We want the most amount of weight that we can put on each side of the bar, pressing it, yelling in the gym, getting after it, looking like Arnold and pumping iron, looking like the biggest bodybuilder, and just looking like a specimen. Now I know that's you, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't have clicked on this video. Now I don't want to keep you too long, but I do want to give you guys my top 6 tips to help you increase your bench press max. I want you to stop looking weak in the gym. I want you to grab that barbell. I want you to load it up, and I want you to get after it. My 1 rep max right now is 385 pounds. I got it up pretty smooth. I had a little pelvis butt jump off the bench a little bit, but no matter what, I got it up. I had a nice little arch, not a lot at that time, but I did have a little arch, and I was able to succeed at getting 385 pounds off of my chest and locking it out. That's my 1 rep max. So now everything I do is all based around 385 pounds. It's important to know your 1 rep max. My goal is to add 20 pounds to my bench press within the next 2 weeks. Now this goal started 2 to 3 weeks ago, but we are still chasing it to this day. So first thing I want to talk about is the form. So this right here is stopping and halting a lot of the progress that I see amongst a lot of individuals when it comes to actually bench pressing some weight. Now, if you spend enough time in the gym, spend enough time in the fitness community, you will hear a ton of different variations when it comes to form on the bench press. You got the massive arch that the power lifters do. You got the no arch that a lot of bodybuilders tend to do. And then you just have your average lifter's arch, which is very minimal, and that's the one that I like to do. Now the arch in this bench pressing is actually important, and that's why I'm bringing it to you today. This arch is actually going to help you with stability, safety, and performance. When you have that arch in your back, it helps to stabilize your shoulder blades by retracting and depressing them. This protects the shoulder joints and reduces the risk of injury. It also creates a solid base for the press. So that's why you will notice powerlifters have a major arch. I mean, the arch is just ridiculous. I personally don't want to arch my back that much, but I'm not a power lifter, but I do want to increase my numbers. So powerlifters are smart with their techniques. It's just the fact that you don't have to arch your back this much in order to press heavy weight. Now let's get to the leg drive. Notice the feet. Positioning of your feet is very, very important. I see a lot of guys who are beginners starting out. They're wiggling their feet. Some never have their feet planted on the ground. 1 leg back, 1 leg forward. Sometimes the legs up. It's crazy. I see a ton of things in the gym. Guys, I've spent 20 plus years inside of the gym. I've seen it all. But when we arch our backs and we have our legs positioned a little bit past the bench or just right at the edge of the bench, it allows you to push through your feet. This leg drive helps generate more force, making the lift more powerful. So it's going to help more than it's going to hurt. But if you take anything from what I just said about the foot positioning, just make sure that you plant those feet on the ground. Keep them steady, keep them stable, and keep them in place. Now another thing you will see when people arch their backs, it allows you to bring the bar down to your chest and have a shorter range of motion. So that's why you will see powerlifters do it, because they're chasing numbers, and you won't see a lot of bodybuilders or just your average lifter actually arching the back tremendously. And that's because we want more range of motion. We want to truly stretch the chest all the way at the bottom, and we want to contract all the way up. More range of motion, more muscle growth. Now, if you are one of those individuals who just want to try out different arches, I would let you know right now that lower back pain is going to come when you have improper form when arching your back. So pay very close attention when you are trying these new techniques. But I would say just have you a nice little arch. You don't have to over exaggerate it, and you don't have to keep your back flat on the bench. But when you are pressing up, one of the main things that we all try to focus on is keeping our butts on the pad. But when that weight does get heavy, you will start to jump the pelvis up and down, trying to use all of your might trying to get that weight up. And that is okay if you are going for a 1 rep max. But if you are actually getting your sets in and getting your reps in, focus on keeping that butt on the pad. Another thing I want to talk about with form is your hand placement. If you have your hands spread out wide on that bar, you will get a nice overall chest development, chest activation. But if you bring them in close, you're going to start targeting that tricep. It's called a close grip bench. I like to keep my middle fingers on those lines, which you will see on the screen screen right here. That's my placement. That's what I like to do. Sometimes I put my pinkies on those lines, but for the most part, I like my middle fingers to be right there. And that right there is a decent hand positioning, a decent arm placement for my bench press. Now, studies do show that the wider you go, you will rep heavier weight, and the closer you go, it will be lighter. But again, different parts of the muscle will be targeted. And although we're shooting for that heavy bench press, we still want to make sure that we are hitting that chest as much as we can, because along with the bench press comes mass, comes muscle building. All right, next up, let's talk about progressive overload. So this one right here is very key, and this is what's going to truly help you build up that bench press. Now, when I talk about progressive overload, I'm talking about on a weekly basis. I don't want you in the gym shooting for a 1 rep max every single chest day. It's not going to work. It's going to hurt you. The recovery is not going to be there. What you need to do is focus on shooting for that 1 rep max at the beginning of the month. 1 rep max, see how high you can go. And then from there on the next week, focus on percentages. And when I say focus on percentages, I'm speaking of do sets with 80% of your 1 rep max, or do sets with 60% of your 1 rep max. Don't always shoot for the heaviest weight and try to rep out 2 sets, 3 sets. You need to still focus on 6 to 8 for that muscle growth, and you do need to focus on some hypertrophy when it comes to actually getting that muscular endurance with your chest press. So I would recommend that on a weekly basis, you focus on different progressive overloading techniques. Switch up your rep ranges, switch up your sets, and stop shooting for that 1 rep max every single workout. My recommendation is that you shoot for that 1 rep max at the beginning of the month and then test it again at the end to see what progress you had in the last 30 to 31 days. If you don't see any progress, then you probably are doing something wrong, but I'm going to help you with that in this video, so make sure you pay attention to the tips. And if you do see progress, that means you're on the right track. So just continue what you're doing and try to improve on that. All right, let's talk accessory work. Now, when we are doing the bench press, more muscles are activated other than the chest. Your shoulders will be activated and your triceps will also be activated. So it is important that we strengthen those muscles as well. So I'm going to give you guys a few exercises that I recommend you do and incorporate on those days where you're not chasing that 1 rep max. These are just the days where you're trying to get that accessory work in and you're trying to develop those muscles that are used when you are bench pressing. If you increase that muscle growth, if you increase that muscle development on the triceps and the shoulders, you will increase your bench press. Now, the incline dumbbell press is one of my favorites. I'm getting stronger and stronger and stronger with this movement, and it is helping me build up my bench press. The incline press shifts the focus slightly to the upper chest and shoulders, helping to balance out my pressing power and develop a well-rounded chest. Now, I say the focus is shifted to the upper chest because you don't have to always sit straight up. What you want to do is get a nice little incline, 45 degrees or more, because the lower the incline, the more upper chest will be targeted. And then the more that you increase that incline, you will start to shift that focus to the front deltoid. Again, we're trying to focus on the shoulders and the chest. So I like to focus on the front deltoid more, which is why I have my incline higher up. Not always straight up and down, but slightly back. Again, targeting nothing but the front deltoid, while also hitting just a little bit of that upper chest. Now, close grip bench press is going to be one of those ones that's going to help you tremendously. This right here is for the triceps. So again, when I spoke about earlier, having your hands positioned more inward on the bar is going to help you target that tricep. This emphasis on the tricep is crucial for locking out the lift at the top of the movement. It also strengthens the inner chest and increases overall pressing power. So I want you to do a nice analysis on your bench press. Where do you get stuck at the most? Sometimes people get stuck with the bar on the chest, and some people get stuck mid-range and can't get that final lockout. If you are struggling with that final lockout, your triceps are most likely the issue. So you need to make sure that you are hitting your triceps hard, getting your triceps stronger so you can better lock out your lift. Now, more for the tricep, we like dips and we like press downs. Now, dips are excellent for building tricep and chest strength. By leaning forward slightly, you can target the chest more effectively. And then when you're keeping your elbows tucked, you're working those triceps. Now, tricep push downs are one of my favorites because, again, this is helping me emphasize the improvement for my lockout phase. I have struggled with locking out the actual lift, so I too myself focus on tricep development so I can make sure I get it up. I've failed multiple times on bench press, guys. I'm not some superhero with out of this world genetics and power and strength. I'm working just like you, and I'm just giving you the tips that have helped me increase my bench press. I'm almost at 4 plates. That 405 is mine, and I'm coming to get it. I maxed out at 385, and I'm only going up from there. Now, floor press is one that I don't do often, but it is a great exercise to help you actually increase your bench press. The floor press reduces the range of motion, focusing on the top portion of the lift where the triceps and shoulders are more engaged. It's particularly useful for building tricep strength. Again, we talk a lot about the triceps. Guys, the triceps are important. We have to develop the triceps. Now, your back is involved. We can talk for days on which exercises are actually going to help, but your back is involved as well with the bench press. So you do need to focus on your lat pull downs, your barbell rows, and do get a big back. That is still very, very important. A big back is going to help you get that bigger bench. So you do need to focus on those heavy movements as well. Now, I'm not going to go down a list of all the back movements because there's so many of them. But basically, with my spiel on the exercises that you need to do for accessory work, sounds like you need to be focused on the overall upper body, not neglecting anything. Now, last thing I will tell you about the accessory work is when I do barbell movements, I do like to focus on pause repetitions. When I do pause repetitions, that's again helping me get the bar off of my chest. So when you're going for that 1 rep max, a lot of people get stuck with the bar on their chest and they can't press up and they can't get it off. So pause reps are a good way to focus on pausing, keeping that bar on the chest, and then exploding up. So when I am doing some accessory work with the bench press, I do like to do pause reps, and I do encourage that more than anything. All right, since we're talking about accessory work, let's talk about the accessories that are needed as far as your equipment and your safety gadgets. So I use elbow sleeves, I use wrist wrap, and I use a belt. So let's talk about the belt first. So I love to use a belt because I like that core stability. A strong core is crucial for maintaining proper posture and control during the bench press. A belt can help you engage your core more effectively, preventing excess arching in the lower back or any unwanted movement in your torso during the press. So if you pay close attention to a lot of people lifting heavy loads on the bench press, you will notice that they probably do have a belt on. Again, safety precautions. That added stability from a belt can help you press more weight by providing better support and reducing the chance of your form breaking down. This is especially helpful for advanced lifters who are attempting to lift close to their maximum capacity, because that's what we're going for, guys, that 1 rep max. Now, the last thing I will say about the belt is that it's going to help you reduce that lower back strain. Although the bench press is primarily a chest and shoulder movement, maintaining good posture throughout the lift requires some lower back engagement. For all of you out there who struggle with maintaining a stable back, a belt can provide additional support, reducing the chance of discomfort or injury. So I highly recommend, if you are pressing your max load, if you are going for 1 rep maxes, you need to have some type of belt on, whether it's a lever belt, whether it's just your standard buckle belt, you need a belt. So go get you a belt. Now, for wrist wraps, I love wrist wraps, and that's because a lot of us have these small wrists, and if we are pressing and our wrists aren't stable, this is not going to be good. You know, you got the bar right here, and that's not going to be good. Heavy loads, that's not going to be good. That is the quickest way to the hospital. I like to strap up my wrist and keep everything tight and stable. So you will notice when I'm doing any pressing movements, I have my wrist wraps on, and it's keeping me safe. And then when we talk about the elbow sleeve, same thing there, just keeping it stable, keeping it tight and intact. And I also have a little bit of strain in my elbow, and that's why I like to keep a sleeve on there just for more security. So guys, these accessory equipment are simply used for safety precautions. So I highly recommend that you go grab you some accessory equipment when you are trying to go for your 1 rep max. It's only going to help you build up that bench. It's only going to help you push that heavy weight. All right, we're wrapping things up, guys. I am on the 5th tip that I have for you, and this one right here is going to be nutrition. So this one right here, I know a lot of you are struggling out there. You guys are just trying to eat whatever you want, live how you want to live, and think you're going to get the most performance in the gym. It's not going to work like that. You have to feed your body quality nutrition, quality food, because that is the fuel that you need in the gym, and that's only going to help you feel your best, move your best, and function your best. I'm talking quality protein, I'm talking quality fats, I'm talking quality veggies, I'm talking quality carbs. You need quality food in your body if you plan on lifting your heaviest and improving in the gym. You can't eat burgers every day, you can't eat pizza every day, you can't eat candy every day, you can't eat chips every day, you can't eat junk food every day. You have to get tight on your nutrition, and you have to focus. Think about what's important. Do you want the heavy lifts in the gym? Do you want that heavy bench press? Or do you just want to go in the gym and have a good time? Hang out with your homies, text, take pictures, record videos. You ask yourself what you want to do. But if you want maximum performance, if you want that maximal lift, if you want to optimize your performance, if you want to optimize your lifts, guys, you got to get quality nutrition in your body. Nutrition is key no matter what your goal is. You have to get your nutrition in check in order to increase that bench press. And the last thing we'll talk about is that rest and recovery. So we talked about progressive overload earlier in the video, and mainly those progressive overload techniques were allowing you to rest. Again, you're not always shooting for that 1 rep max. You need to make sure that you are resting your body, you're taking some time off. You're only bench pressing once a week, if not once every 2 weeks. And then all the other push workouts, you're focused on accessory work. But resting is going to be key and recovery is going to be right next to it. So make sure you are getting your sleep at home and make sure you are allowing your chest and your triceps and your shoulders, allowing them time to recover. You can't bench press every day and think you're going to increase it. Take baby steps, bench week 1, take week 2 off, bench week 3, do whatever you need, but it's all going to be based off of you. Everyone recovers differently, especially when you get older, the recovery tends to come a little slower. And then when you're a spring chicken like you 20-year-olds out there, you guys snap back just like that. I'm sore right now and I haven't bench pressed in like the last 4 or 5 days. So recovery needs to be your focus if you plan on attacking the weights and getting that true 1 rep max. And that's it for this video here, guys. My top 6 tips that are gonna help you guys increase the bench press. I need you guys to check out this video right here. If you're true about trying to get stronger and trying to build up your lifts, you need to watch this video. Tap in, take notes, do what you need to do, but I wanna see those gains. I need you guys getting stronger. I need you guys getting bigger. I need you guys building muscle. I appreciate y'all for clicking on this video. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one.